What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Baker's DIY Lifestyle. So in today's video, we are back on the job site with our company, the Hickory Handyman, and it has been a minute since I have filmed any of our jobs, mainly because when we get to working, we're trying to get the job done. But this one is something that we come across a lot as handymen and repairing doors, but this one's a little bit worse. And I want to go over what happened to this door, why it failed, why it's so rotten, and really just go through the steps on how we are going to rebuild it and rebuild it correctly so that this homeowner never has to worry about this again. So a couple things you can see just from the get-go: we have removed all of the siding right here. There's no house wrap going around the house. You can see we've got rot at the top, we've got mold growing down this stud here, and there's actually no king stud, there's no jack stud. This used to be a garage door, so there's nothing that has to be load bearing, but the header of the door is not actually supported by this stud right here anyway. So even that, if you were trying to scab it in, is not really done correctly, and cause some issues with the framing. So if you grab the door and push it, I can actually wiggle this wall back and forth, which is definitely not what you want, because anytime you open and close this door, you're shaking the wall. And when we go in the house here, I'll show you some drywall cracks that have probably developed over time just from everything being kind of loose. But the main thing here is the original installer did not do any waterproofing whatsoever. So one thing you'll see a lot is down here at the bottom of these exterior doors. If you do not caulk this line correctly, water will get up underneath it. Over time, this little section will rot. And most of the time when we do repairs, we come in, we cut pretty much like this one has already been done. We'll cut the bottom, and we'll go back with a PVC brick mold and a PVC bottom so that none of this stuff ever happens again. So one of the things, like, if you are putting a door in like this yourself and you have the option, definitely go with the PVC. It doesn't make sense to use wood anymore when you have PVC that looks just as good and is mold resistant, rot resistant, termite resistant, and the whole 9 yards. It'll just last a lot longer. But this failure actually occurred from up here. So instead of it being just the bottom, which is what they called us for, the J channel, and again, no moisture barrier, no house wrap, no anything right here. The J channel was actually cut just a little bit short of this corner, and any of the water that came down the siding into the J channel was actually running behind the brick mold here, and we have completely rotted out the top of the door. We've completely rotted out the side of the door. There is tons of rot going down this stud on the wall. There's green mold, there's black mold, there's all kinds of nasty mold. And on the inside, on the carpet, the water was actually penetrating through the door and wetting in here as well. So with all that being said, we're gonna go ahead and finish our demolition here. We are gonna go ahead and remove this side of the siding as well. It's not nearly as rotted because the guy almost got the J channel right on the left side, but we are just gonna go ahead and rip the siding all the way up to where you see there so we can replace that piece of OSB on both sides. Go ahead and get all that stuff new and get it all sealed up and watertight. Then we'll install our new door and go from there. So one thing I want to touch on before we go any farther, and you can see some more of these J channel decisions that weren't very good. They've cut the J channel right here, and you can see instead of overlapping it somehow, which that would have been okay, but what they chose to do here was just cut it and stack it, which is not going to do anything for your water diversion. The water will go right beside the siding and it'll get caught. Like you can see, this flap is sticking up right here. All of the moisture is going to go right behind that piece of J channel and do the exact same thing. So that is another thing that was done incorrectly here that we are going to replace. All right, guys, so we are down to the rough framing. We've got all the drywall out of the inside. We've got everything opened up on the outside so we can see exactly what we're dealing with. So you can see down at the bottom, the previous installer did bolt the bottom plate to the concrete, which I'm actually very surprised considering the rest of it. But you can see that that board is not treated. And you can also see that this stud runs all the way down to the bottom of the concrete as well. Again, another not treated board. And anytime you are putting a board against any kind of concrete, whether it's block, a concrete foundation, or a basement, anything like that, you always want to put a treated board down because that concrete will hold moisture and it'll transfer it to the wood. Here again, you can see on the framing, we've got the door header here that's not actually sitting on anything. And it looks like they tried to do some sort of header on top, but again, it's not really done properly. So we're gonna end up just ripping all of this stuff out anyway. and just starting over from square one. The door that was in here was a 68 by 80, which is a 34-inch door. The one we got is a 72 by 80, which is more standard as two 36-inch doors. So I think our rough opening is actually going to be just slightly bigger, which is not going to be a bad thing, because then we can go in and make sure our header is properly set, sitting actually on a jack stud, and have all this wood fixed up. And then once we get our new OSB put on, we can go ahead and get our house wrap on, and I will show you guys how to wrap it around all the corners to make sure if water does make it past your vinyl siding, that it'll hit that house wrap and it'll shed down away from the house. Guys, so we are to the point where we're going to start putting this whole frame back together. And one thing I want to touch on before we get started is what you need to do anytime you're putting a board against the brick or the concrete. Because whenever you put the piece of wood onto a brick surface or onto a concrete surface, it's not going to be perfectly flat. So what you'll end up having is little areas where bugs can get up underneath the boards, crawl into the house, or you can get a draft where the cold air will make it through the mortar joints of the brick. Or the worst case, like in this one, is the moisture. Anytime the water hits the concrete and bounces into the door, it'll actually push its way in behind the brick and really just make that water problem even worse. So what you want to do is anywhere you know you're going to have a board touching the concrete, we're going to put a super thick bead of exterior caulking right on this outside edge and then up the brick all the way up to the wood. So what that'll do is it'll ensure that all of these mortar joints and all of this, like the cracks in the concrete, all of that stuff is sealed, and hopefully you won't have any issues with stuff getting up into the house. And again, we're going to go back down with a treated piece of lumber anywhere that we are touching the concrete or the brick so that it does not rot just from sucking the moisture out from the concrete. All right, so one of the other things I want to talk about with waterproofing your outdoor system is OSB, of course, is not waterproof or water resistant like a treated 2x4. So another issue that they ran into on this build is that they took their OSB and they sat it right on top of the concrete. So we are going to do two things that is going to make sure that this stuff does not soak up moisture from the concrete. The first is we cut it a 1/4 inch short of actually hitting the concrete. What we're going to do with this is just take some of this joist tape, and you can use joist tape or any other kind of butyl rubber tape, pretty much anything that is waterproof that is made to keep wood dry. So what I'm going to do is take this 3 1/8 inch wide tape, and I'm going to wrap the bottom of this OSB. What that's going to do is it's going to eliminate any of the water that could splash up onto the OSB and soak into the wood. So Tristan also had a good idea here. We're going to put a piece of tape right along the edge of this OSB where it touches this brick as well. And again, that'll ensure that this OSB is not touching any part of the concrete. And even if it does, it won't soak up any moisture into the crack. All right, so we have got the main part of the framing done, and we are to the next step of waterproofing, and that is going to be our house wrap. So if you'll remember, whenever we got out here, there is no house wrap at all behind this vinyl. And I don't know how people are getting away with it, because our old house was the same exact way. And we actually had a door on our back deck rot out and pretty much do the same exact thing as this. So what we're gonna do is start with the wrap. You always wanna start at the bottom and work your way up. That way each layer can overlap the other one a couple inches, and the water will always shed down and it won't get behind itself. Then the other thing we're gonna do is wrap it into the opening of the door frame. So a lot of people, they'll stop right here on the edge of the OSB, but if you just extend it another 2 inches and wrap this corner, it just gives you even more security that if water gets in behind the J-channel and gets into that area, hopefully the house wrap will stop it and it'll keep all that stuff from rotting out as well. So we're going to start with our 2 little pieces at the bottom of the door frame there, and then we'll run a full piece all the way around and just work our way up until we get up here. All right, so we now have all of this house wrapped, And of course you can see that our house wrap is going to stop right here under this vinyl. Again, if we could take all that siding off, we would wrap everything. But since we are just focused on repairing this door, it's definitely going to be better than what was here before. So you can see the way we cut our corners here. Whenever you wrap it around the corner, if this was a full piece of wrap, you would do the same thing and just wrap it up underneath. But what I'm going to do, since we don't really have enough room to get a full piece of wrap right here, is I'm going to take some more of that joist tape and just lay it across the corner and then stretch it into the corner here to complete this seam. And that'll ensure that if any water gets right here into the corner like it was originally, it'll hit the house wrap and keep everything dry. All right guys, so we've got our door installed, we've got it level, we've got it screwed in, and it is nice and tight. So the next step, all we have to do is get our J-channel put up. All right, so with J-channel, your goal is to overlap everything so that the water, if it gets into it, will not get behind it. Vinyl siding and even this vapor barrier here, it's all just a water diversion system. If you pressure wash your vinyl siding, you're gonna get water behind it. Or if we have a bad storm and you've seen the rain like blow sideways into your house, you always have a chance for water to get behind. So the way we're gonna do this J-channel is make sure it goes all the way to the ground, and then we're gonna cut a 45-degree angle right here that will be covered up by the top piece. All right, so hopefully you can see how this is installed here. If you look on the back side, here's the flap that we cut out an inch longer than the rest of the trim, so that if any water gets into this upper J-channel, it has a place to wrap around and nowhere to go in between the two pieces of J. Now you could 45 these two and overlap that as well. Or the other option you have is just put a piece of this tape right over top of that, which is probably what we're gonna do. You know, I'm not a sider by trade, but this is in much better shape than when we came out here. All right guys, so we are at the end of this project, and I hope you guys learned something about how to waterproof a door and how to make sure you don't have any water issues whenever you are installing doors or windows in your house. The procedure is still the same. Make sure you have your house wrap, make sure everything is nice and taped up. And for the final step that I'm gonna go ahead and do right quick is we're going to go ahead and get a bead of caulk around the J-channel where it touches the brick mold. And this is one that is always missed. Right on the edge of the threshold is a spot where you need to get a bead of silicone, and definitely right here in the corner. A lot of the times people will not put any silicone right here, and the water will go up underneath the door and it will eventually rot out the brick mold and the base of the door, and you'll run into the same exact issue that you started with. So really the name of the game is just anywhere you can divert water away from the house, that's exactly what you want to do. So again, we feel a lot better about this. The homeowners are super excited because they know they're not gonna have to worry about mold or rot or anything getting inside their house anymore. But with that, if you guys have any questions, please be sure to leave them in the comment section down below, and I will get back to you as fast as I can. But for now, I'm gonna finish up this caulk job and I'm gonna head to the house. Thanks for watching.